Hey folks, this is again Spectre, Tesla Spectre, also for the Global Impact Institute. Today, even cooler than last time, because now I'm in Tuscany. Who wouldn't want to be in Tuscany, except when it's 38 degrees? But no, it's fantastic here. And I'm here at Il Rosolaccio, and together with Steve, the owner. And I would just like to start with that. Hi, Steve.
Hi guys. Nice to meet you all.
So maybe to give it an easy start and here, right, with all the herbs and everything, maybe you just tell us a little bit, because you are a very interesting guy with your own history, and also, you know, a little bit about your place.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just kick off with the place and who I am, and then I'll tell you a little bit about our mini herb garden here. But we also have a garden at the back there, an orchard. No, I'm an Englishman that has been in Italy now. Well, I was born here. I went back to England, and then I came back here 5 years ago. So I'm here because my mother 30 years ago bought this place, Il Rosolaccio. It was a ruin. She restored it, conserved it, and made a guest house out of it. And now, just nearly 30 years later, it's a reasonably thriving business in the tourist sector. We have between 30 and 40 guests at a time. But we're also conscious about how we can lower our carbon footprint, and also thinking about food. Where do our foods come from, and try and give our guests an experience which is maybe a little bit more than just going to a hotel and have foods maybe delivered from every corner of the world, which is also can be nice too for the palate, but we try to be local here. Anyway, so it's a guest house. We have also some plans, you know, how to save it on energy and maybe produce a little energy. I'll tell you a little bit about that later when we go to the swimming pool area. But anyway, to start with, I mean, this is a very small kind of
I show you
herb garden, but we also have our orchard, which is just around at the back of the house, which I think we can maybe go around and have a look at it. And obviously in the kitchen, which from which we prepare foods and dinners for all our guests every evening, we use the food that we produce here. Obviously we have to integrate it too with other foods, mainly meats and some vegetables which run out as the season goes ahead, but we do a fairly good job of it.
And so basically, I mean, that's for me. That's what the project we're doing is, of course, exactly about. The question, you know, how can we still be mobile, and holidays is maybe the most direct way of being mobile without leaving too much of a terrible footprint. So, and look here, folks. This is the backside.
These are our tomatoes.
Look at that.
Here are our tomatoes. There is salad. That's sage.
Yeah.
Here is the rest of the herb garden down here. There we have garlic and onions. Here we have zucchini.
Oh, folks, I get so hungry
so we
now.
use this.
Yeah. So, if you would have to say what is for you as an owner of a agriturismo, what it's called in Italy, what is it for you? Green mobility, sustainable tourism?
Well, very, very important. I mean, one of the reasons why we as foreigners are also here is that we thought we could, in a positive manner, bring other types of mentalities towards small businesses in the tourism sector. And by that I mean be conscious that how important it is food, to have your own food, or to have food that is kind of built within a local remit, so it supports the local economy, but also things like energy and the use of space, the use of cars. Yeah, we're very much conscious of that. It's not always easy because the Italian state currently is not supporting businesses in a very well, it's not supporting them at all. It's saying that we should all invest in cars, electricity generation for cars, but we don't get any support. So a businessman would have to support this type of investment directly.
So it's more this kind of the Italian politician way, like we have to do it, and that means you have to do it.
Yes, because in the private sector is aided. there are incentives for private
Yeah.
people to get this type of help, but for businesses, no. We just would deduct them from cost, which is obviously something, but it's not a direct subsidy. One thing we are planning, we would like to, for example, do photovoltaic
On the roof, right?
Yeah, solar generated electricity power. That's a project I would really like. But at the moment, because as you can see, the property is quite big, it's quite an investment, and I'm not prepared at the moment to set aside that type of investment money. So there is a little bit of difficulty. On the one hand, people would like to see it and would like to think that they're here on holiday in a place where the electricity is generated in this manner. But at the moment, it's not a reality. Having said that, plan is over at the swimming pool and the car park over there. We want to generate electricity from solar panels there, and I'm going to make a small investment there this winter in order to make that area independent. To start, exactly. And then maybe one day we can think about here too.
Maybe we head over there and have a look at that point. But first, folks, I have to show you this. I mean, we are just here now the second day, but we are still totally amazed. It's so incredibly beautiful. It's I envy you for living here.
No, we're very lucky. Me too. We thank our lucky stars every day.
And you know, but even if, you know, like these solar investments and that stuff are tricky, and we talked about that in a minute. How do you do it when it comes to, you started already with food and all kind of, you know, the products you use? Yeah. I think it's not so much that tourists nowadays, only very few say, oh, which is a totally sustainable farm, and there we go. Yeah. Probably also even vegan and everything. I think that's a minority, but for you it matters, right? That
yes,
you know.
Much.
So
yeah, and having said that, I mean, we prepare vegan food. We're very open. We publicize all this, so we try to come that way. But to do it to one extreme would be too sectorializing. What is a normal kind of tourist offer here? I mean, one thing we do with quite success, and it does save us, let's say, a lot of costs and is water. For example, we gather all the water that we use in the garden from these roofs here, that roof and that roof. They're all collected in a 10,000 litre container underground in front.
And that is for use water, like for shower and
no. The shower we have to by law use the public aqueduct. There's a health problem there.
But washing machines and these kind of...
No, not even that. Not. No, because clothes and personal hygiene, the water has to, by law, in a tourist place where people are paying, has to be of a certain quality and standard. And since water comes from the ground, can very quickly deteriorate, you would have to be continually cleaning it and managing it. So what we do instead, we collect from all the roofs, all the rainwater, and we use it for all the plants and flowers and roses and the orchard, which you saw.
Which definitely makes a difference.
Yes, I mean, we're reutilizing a natural resource, and that is quite successful here, I think. We have a very large, and it takes us through, almost makes us independent the whole year round.
How big is it? Do you know how many liters?
10,000 liters, and because it rains, I mean, sometimes in August we're a little bit short, we have to top it up, but that's very rare. It usually, because it rains every now and then, it a little bit, yeah. So we're very, that's reasonably reasonably successful. Yeah.
And this is just, I'm always amazed. Also, you know, in Arco it was the same. That you always see here plants, which in the north of Europe or Central Europe, where I am, we know as tiny plants in pots, who you have to take care of like a baby to survive. And here they are enormous.
Rosemary.
Yeah.
Rosemary.
That is a rosemary.
Yeah. And these are capers.
Seriously.
Capers. This is a cape.
I've never seen a caper in life, so to speak.
Yeah, these are capers. They will become. Look, here they are. Here they are. Here are the buds already becoming. These ones you see in the cocktails.
Yeah, exactly.
See, this is a caper plant, and all it grows is on a. This doesn't hardly need any water. It just grows between the stones. I mean, this is a plant that grows really well without water, without any.
Yeah, that's why they die where I live, because we have plenty of water. Exactly.
Water. Yeah, they want to be dry. Which is a paradox.
That is true. So, but let's say, I mean, just folks, also for you to know, originally when Stephen and I started, I was probably one of the guests who was the biggest nuisance in his back, because I communicated up front, like, okay, how is it with charging? And in the beginning it looked like you could come up with a Tesla destination charger in time, and then
it didn't work. No, unfortunately, I'll recount it very quickly. I wrote twice to Tesla asking to be a destination charger. There's a special form online on their site, and I must say I never got an answer back. So I was, in the end, I thought maybe they just considered us too small. Maybe they need at least, I don't know, 50 or 100 guests.
But they could at least communicate.
They didn't. I went on the Tesla site in the area where you're supposed to make a request. I filled out the form with all the details, how many people are staying there. We didn't even get an answer.
Yeah.
So in the end, obviously I did, I would like to have become a destination.
Yeah, it would be, I think
it wasn't possible. They didn't take it up.
Because it's not only that you're then on the map for Tesla, but the destination chargers are type 2, so anybody can come.
Anybody would, yeah.
And I just met right now, because that you just know by listening, the infrastructure for charging here in Tuscany is, let's put it like this, suboptimal.
Suboptimal.
Because there is exactly one 50k charger in about 30 kilometers range.
Right.
At a co-op. So since I'm lucky that I could, do a kind of a small charge up at the Tesla charger in Firenze. So that's all fine. I think the Italian government needs to do a little bit there, no?
No, I absolutely. And I, as a small business, would be ready to put, let's say, 50% and then maybe ask for a 50% subsidy to build, maybe a monoblock with two points, maybe 11 or 20, kilowatts. So I would love to do that. But at the moment, I can't do it. I would have to take all the costs myself. So, but having said that, because it's now 3 years that I've been trying to do this, I've decided that this winter, and we're working on the project already, to invest the money myself. I mean, and how would we power it? Yeah, the idea was to have all the cars covered here and there, with a roof and the panels. So the cars would be in the shade. Some people are complaining that their car gets too hot, so we would, satisfy that demand. And then at the same time, we would put the panels on top, and then we would, obviously, with the generated energy, we would then provide some of it in the charging station, and some may go to supplying the pump, the swimming pool, the lighting system in the evening.
But that will be quite enormous. I mean, that is like,
it would be like
20 meters, 15 meters.
So there would be a roof here that would come from here to there. There would be a roof like this with panels, and then we would
same there.
And then we would channel the whatever's produced, either save it in a through the inverter, then in the battery, or we would put it straight used to the pumps, because swimming pool uses electricity on the pump, lighting, and then if there's any extra, we would pass it on to the house.
Well, there must be a lot, because I mean, if you have like, I don't know by heart, but I think normally one cell has about 200 watt production. So that's a lot.
But I mean, I'm not going to tell you the size of our electricity bill here, because I think you might fall over. Particularly now this year that it's
with the air
doubled.
conditioning.
Oh, with the air conditioning, we have air conditioning in every single room except for 2. So there's a huge amount of electricity being used in air. Some people even leave the air conditioning on when they're not even in the room. So
and did the here also the price double in the last year?
No.
Because we saw that in many places now.
No, not doubled. I mean, we have raised it. It's about 20%, the actual room price. But we haven't doubled it.
No, I mean the price for the electricity, whether that doubled.
The price for electricity has doubled.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So if we were setting aside, say, 20 euros a day for, given to aircon, it's going to be 40 euros a day.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, and some people, it's on all the time and they're here 7 days. It's like massive. I won't tell you what our bills are, but we're talking tens of thousands. in a
So
year.
yeah, on the other hand, that means then once you do this investment, it will probably pay off quicker than you think, not because it is cheaper, but because everything else gets more expensive, huh?
Well, if that's what's going to happen, then obviously it's a good thing to do. And that's why the payback now, one of the reasons also why I'm decided to do this is that the payback of all the costs and beginning to get the benefit from your investment is now down to about 6 or 7 years. It was more than 10 not so long ago. So there are also reasons why a small businessman can take a risk and try and better. And this is what we're doing, but we're not doing it because the government has, been particularly kind with us.
That's true. Now, to wrap it up, if you had one sentence to get people to come here, what would you tell them? Why do they have to come here?
I think the nicest thing that Il Rosolaccio can offer is the friendship that it can very quickly be made with other people here, and that they can feel at home, away from home, in what I consider a very nice setting. So it's human beings, friendship, or beginning of friendship, dialogue with people. Often at dinner, people are sitting together, or they move together. They certainly talk together, and that's really nice in a place. It's not like everyone's sitting in their own table, and that's what I like to work on more than anything else as a small businessman.
Thanks for that. And to close, you remember those were the days when you went to a supercharger and you did not sit in your car and watch Netflix, but you were standing and talking to others. That's what they do here. So I can just say, we're staying here on our trip next to Bologna, and it's just totally fabulous. So it's worth the while. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.